This presentation is entitled Blame the Train, and that reason for that title will become clear in a moment. This is based upon a lesson that I teach in my class, OTC 101, Navigating College. I've taught this class at OTC since 2009, and as of the fall 2018 semester, the class is required for students in 6 of our AA programs. So what does today's college student need in order to navigate college? That is a question my colleagues and I have spent a lot of time thinking about. And the answer may surprise you, because what we believe today's college student needs may not necessarily be the first thing you think of. When I tell people I teach a class called Navigating College, they often assume that I teach a lot of study skills. And while study skills definitely factor in, we talk about textbook reading, test anxiety, and note-taking, study skills are not the primary focus of this class. The primary focus of this class is what I like to call life skills. Some of you may have heard these referred to as soft skills. And again, employers are telling us at OTC that they want our students to graduate with strong, soft skills. The ability to listen and follow directions, the ability to work with minimal supervision, the ability to show up on time, to have a strong work ethic. Those are the kinds of skills that employers are really wanting in our graduates. One of the first lessons I use to teach this idea of soft skills is the victim mindset versus the creator mindset. This is a concept that comes up in Chapter 2, Personal Responsibility, and is something that I weave throughout the whole semester. It's also a lesson that has had a huge impact on my own life. I want to start by defining some terminology for you. The first is victim with a lowercase v. A victim with a lowercase v is somebody who can be any of us at certain points in times. All of us are victims when our car won't start, or we get sick, or we have a family member who is injured or in the hospital, or we're in an accident, or the printer won't print, or the internet goes out at the worst possible moment. But how we choose to respond to those negative situations determines whether or not we become a victim with a capital V. A victim with a capital V is somebody who continues to blame every bad thing that happens in their life on that accident, or that bad childhood, or that divorce 5 years ago. A victim with a capital V just simply can't move forward and continues to make excuses and blame. Finally, the last term I wanted to define for you is creator. A creator is somebody who realizes that he or she holds the power. Creators understand that they have choices, and that those choices can determine the kinds of lives they want to live. I like to further define this terminology by using some comparisons. The first is this: victims try, but creators do. I have the picture of Yoda on the screen for you because if you are a Star Wars fan, you'll remember Yoda's famous speech in which he said, "Do or do not, there is no try." And the idea is if you're going to try to do something, you're not fully committed to it. Here's another comparison. Victims say, "Why me? Why me? Why do bad things always happen to me?" Creators say, "Why not me?" Bad things happen to all of us, and how we choose to respond to those bad situations determines what happens next. The final comparison is this: victims blame. Victims blame other people, other situations, other things that go wrong. Victims are always looking for somebody to take the fall, somebody to blame for the bad things in their lives. On the other hand, creators take responsibility. Creators realize that they are in control. Creators understand that it all comes down to the choices we make on a daily basis. I mentioned that this lesson had a huge impact on me, and I want to share a story with you about that. Several years ago, I was working in the Tutoring and Learning Center at OTC, and my supervisor at the time said, "We have a meeting on Friday at 8 a.m. with the Student Services Advisors, and I need for you to be there, and I need for you to be on time." She really emphasized that for good reason. And that morning, I simply didn't leave home soon enough. And so as I was heading to work, I was feeling panicked. I was heading down 65 North, and I was checking my watch against the clock in the car, hoping I'd make it on time. And I exited 65 and I went under the overpass and I was on Chestnut Expressway, and I was thinking maybe if I hit every green light, I'll make it on time. And then all of a sudden, ding, 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 ding. No, not the train, not the train. This morning of all mornings, not that train. And sure enough, as I sat there watching the train chug past me, I realized that I would definitely be late to my meeting. I had been literally derailed from making it on time. And I began thinking about what I would say when I walked in late to that meeting. And when I arrived and I walked in, here's what I said. I'm so sorry I'm late. I got caught by the train. Do you hear my victim language? I should have walked into that meeting and said, I'm so sorry I'm late. I didn't leave home soon enough. Because that was the absolute truth. But instead, I did not take responsibility for being late to the meeting. I chose instead to blame the train. And the problem with blaming the train is that I don't control the train schedule. I don't know exactly when that train is going to go through. And by blaming the train, I never have to make any changes or do anything differently because it's not my fault that I'm late to the meeting. By taking responsibility, it would make a difference. But the problem with blaming is that blame equals same. When you blame, you don't ever have to make any changes. So you continue to get the same bad results again and again and again. When I blame the train for making me late to work, I don't have to do anything differently. When I say I'm sorry I'm late, I should have left home sooner, now I have a problem I can actually fix. I just need to leave home a little bit sooner. And it sounds so simple, but it's really not. The first time I ever taught this class, the best thing I heard about it was from one of my students. I walked into the classroom and I overheard him talking to his classmates, and he said, you know, after taking this class, I'm so done with my friends and their lame excuses. So I thought it might be fun to talk a little bit about some lame excuses you may hear. You may have even used some of these and see if any of them ring true for you. How about this one? Oh, I didn't have time. I didn't have time to read my textbook. I didn't have time to write that essay. I didn't have time to prepare my speech. All of us have the same 24 hours in every single day. The victim says, I didn't have time. The creator says, I didn't make time. Here's another lame excuse. Oh, it's been a crazy day. Things are so crazy right now. My life is really crazy. All of us have crazy lives and crazy schedules. The victim says, things are so crazy, I can't get anything done. The creator says, things are crazy, so I need to set my priorities differently so I am sure to accomplish everything I need to. How about this lame excuse? Oh, I've been meaning to call you. Oh, I've been meaning to email you. I've been meaning to take care of that. Well, if you'd really been meaning to do it, I think you would have already done it. Meaning to reminds me a lot of try. You're not fully committing to doing what you say you're going to do if you say you're meaning to do it or you're going to try to do it. Every day, each of us makes many, many choices. When we choose to respond as a victim, we blame, we make excuses, and we get the same negative results again and again and again. When we choose to respond as a creator, we take responsibility, we make good choices, and we absolutely have the power to change our lives. Thank you very much.